Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard. Welcome back to Alphacraft. So, last episode, we did that. We built this at the start of the forge. And started getting this building set up. Did just a little bit of decorating back in the back where the forge is at. But today, we need to decorate this. Like, properly get this place decorated out. And I think we're going to start with the interior. Go ahead and knock that out because the interior is, shield your eyes, it's terrible. The interior looks awful at the moment. I do love this though, see? That's what I was showing you last episode. Was I love the way the light shines in through these leaves. It does make a beautiful, beautiful visual effect up here. Just such a peaceful, like warm house. And then back in the forge, of course, we're up to this point. So today we're going to start the decorating bit, and I think we'll start on the bottom floor down here. And I think getting this put together is really going to bring the inside together. So the first thing I want to do is I want to just add some general furniture. Furniture is always where I like to start because then you can kind of work everything else around that. And so we're going to add some furniture, and then we're going to fix these stairs because they're not going to be cobblestone, of course. We're going to fix these stairs that go up and get those shaped up, and then if I decide to add the little walkway from the landing over, then we'll do that as well. So I'll be back once we get that stuff all sorted out. Okay, that's where we're up to at the moment. After adding a little bit of furniture and basic stuff and reworking the stairs, I decided to go with spruce wood here and actually just fill it all in because it just felt so, I don't know, I was messing around with it and it just felt so unfinished with it open. I don't think this building is big enough. We are going to start some big builds here fairly soon. Like that one over there is a little bit larger, but we're going to start some big builds here soon so that we can actually have an multiple block space between floors and multiple block space between walls, and it's going to be nice. But these buildings, it just doesn't make much sense to have maybe a 2 block or a 1.5 block even space between floors. So when you're working with tighter quarters, you don't have as much freedom to have different blocks for floors and ceilings from the floor below it. So otherwise it just, it feels too thick. Like if I was to add, I don't have any blocks on me. Let me grab a block just to show you an example of why. I can't wait to build bigger things. I'm used to building bigger things actually, but see, that's like a huge space. That's almost the size of a person between floors. So it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, if you could double stack slabs, that would be fine, but you can't unless they're the same thing. So, or if you do the floor wonky like where you can't place things. But anyways, so we got that stuff put in. I went with a darker block just to contrast better, and I changed the floor over to oak, but it's going to be primarily carpet. So, you're not going to be able to see a lot of this. But I did kind of like a little countertop here, so he can walk in straight from the forge, go over here and make food, and then sit here and come around and eat, and then I set up a little table here, one of these types. I don't know, I kind of like them. Even though it's a different texture, I don't know, I just love them. I just love it. And then one of these small little tables here. And then this is all trapdoors, and then goes up. So just kind of worked out better. I actually tried birch for the trapdoors. They actually look horrible for any kind of screens. Well, these kind of screens. I know Drama used them for her walls, and she will use them in a way that worked out pretty good. But for just like a border right here, they just, for like around stairs, they just don't work out as nicely as spruce does. Spruce is just such an even texture, top to bottom. It just works out really, really nicely. So I went with that there, and then I actually changed this over to a ladder. And I decided to put the bed down here instead, since we've got a ladder here, and then maybe this would be more of like an attic for storage, and then probably have a relaxation sort of balcony. So I think that will actually work out better. And actually in a lot of elven type houses, they actually do use a lot of ladders. So they don't have to have stairs everywhere. So I decided to put a ladder there. I think it just works out so much better. It really, really does. Instead of having that big, bulky staircase. The big, bulky staircase is okay here because I was able to work a kitchen into the bottom of it. You know, not a huge kitchen, but a small, usable kitchen down here. And I think it just worked out nicely. At least personally, I do. Okay, so next up, I'm going to add in the other major things for this room, and that is carpet. Let's see, carpet and I guess maybe mainly carpet, and I might do a little bit of lighting or all the lighting. We'll see, and then we'll clutter it out. So, anyways, I will be back in just a minute. Okay, I added some carpet. It's not to say I won't add more, but I think I'm pretty good for right now, and then I kind of want to just see how this building comes together, and I don't know. I'm still torn on it, but it kind of depends on the rest of the carpet. Kind of depends on how the walls shape up, and if these are the colors I want to go with, if this is the placement I want to go with. Right now, I'm leaning towards this because I don't know. It just kind of adds the splashes of color where it's needed, but once we get the stuff up on the walls, that may change because we're going to have splashes of color, you know, in other places. And then I also added these little bits of beams. This is actually kind of a handy thing to do if you do have a flat ceiling that's slabs like that, because it just kind of gives the, you know, if you have enough space to make it work, like as far as the ceiling and the floor. Upstairs, I don't know that we'll be able to do it as well because it's going to make for some really tight sections. But down here, I think it works out nicely, and it gives me a place to hang the lights. There shouldn't be any mobs able to spawn on this floor, which is actually pretty simple lighting. We've got 5 lights, and it lights up this whole floor. But yeah, so now what I need to do is just add kind of the general clutter to the section. And I do like this little bar area, or like eatery bar section. I just think it's framed in nicely. So, but yeah, so I'm going to add the stuff on the walls, which is going to add that splash of color in this room, because right now it's kind of just dark brown, light brown, and a little bit of color on the floor. But that's nothing that, you know, some banners and some paintings and some item frames and little things like that can't help. And then we'll add some stuff to the tables, you know, some potted plants. We'll add some potted plants to the floor like we've done, and just kind of overall just spruce this room up and add all that much needed color for this room. Okay, I got this all set up. Got a little double bed set up here, a little wardrobe, and then I don't know. No, I think I'm gonna leave that kind of more open coming into here. And then I set up a little closet area here, just some barrels and crafting table, and then this little table for just kind of a little bit of variety. And then yeah, some little stuff. I did add some flower pots and some banners. I'm not done decorating up this area. I just had a moment where I couldn't really record right that second, and I was working on some stuff, and so I just did a little bit of decoration, but and magenta carpet. And then over here is a little like a little reading nook kind of area. And then these lecterns, you'll see lecterns. I've tried to put these in most of the major buildings. Some of the minor houses don't have them, like the minor like the minor house actually has one, but the minor houses. And then what we're going to do is write out some little lore books. You know, I talked about that a bit in the past, and yeah, I'm going to write out some little lore books and leave them around, so whenever the we'll go over them, but whenever the server tour, or whenever the world download comes out, you know, at the end of the season, then if you guys are exploring the area, you'll have little bits of lore. And there's also going to be little Easter eggs and some little hidden conspiracies, I think. I was doing some thought on those, and there's actually a little bit, and I'm actually yeah, I probably actually won't go over them too much. I might show you the ones here, and then whenever, you know, whenever season 2 ends, then if you're exploring the city, you can kind of come across some of those Easter eggs. So, but I might show you a couple of them just to give you an idea of some of the stuff. But anyways, I'm going to finish decorating out this area, and then we will move on to the upper section. So finishing out this, I might actually during this cut, since I don't have very much decoration to add to this floor, I might go ahead and do the furniture and lighting and the general stuff up here as well. So I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, fair warning, I got a little bit more done than I was anticipating because Dibs had a stream and I popped in there and we were on there for a bit and I was just kind of decorating during a bit of it. But yeah, so I did get the final bits of decoration in here and just kind of added some paintings and the flowers and you know, just all that stuff. And I think this area has come together nicely. I do quite like it, I think. I do quite like it. So anyways, if you can tell by my voice, I like just woke up because after the stream I was actually pretty exhausted because then let's see, after the stream ended up lasting for a while and then me and Dibs had some stuff to talk about, and then after that I was like I think I'm gonna go lay down for at least a couple hours. And yeah, and then up here this is where I kind of got ahead of myself because I just kind of started decorating and I was on the stream and actually it was almost done decorated before I was like, oh wait, I was only supposed to be doing the furniture. But anyways, I couldn't figure out what to do with this room and I decided to put a little bit of like an Easter egg kind of lore sort of thing, which I have to finish with some of the exterior stuff. But anyways, I had 5 wandering trader heads. I have so many of these because I murder so many wandering traders. And then over, let's see, over here I've got these like creepy paintings and that creepy painting, and yeah, and then some storage and stuff, and this storage and stuff, and then up here just a chair. Kind of a simple little area, but it's just, I don't know. I don't really know what the purpose of it is. Maybe relaxation, and he likes to enjoy his work that he's done for the city, maybe. But yeah, I have so many of those heads because they always show up. They're super... Wandering Traders are supposed to be rare, but they are super common. Like, the statement that they're rare is a lie. It's a lie. I kill so many of those every day. And actually, I think I heard one when I was in the A-frame house just a minute ago. I think I heard... Yep, there we go. There's another one. I actually killed one here just a little bit ago. Or, well, you know, before I went to bed. I got another creamy llama trader head. Okay, this will go in my collection of heads. What do we got? I got 2 of those. I got 2 light grays, white, 2 browns. I still have 5 more wandering trader heads. So, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do next, let me dump off this stuff. What we are going to be doing next is, oh, by the way, I can't remember if I showed you guys, but look at all this wool. If you're wondering where I'm getting all these wools, you know, on my to-do board, I had on the list, like, get all the sheep colors, and we still will. It's just not so much of a rush now, because I knew I was going to need a lot of wool for the tavern, and actually it was kind of a happenstance, because I was, you know, the Guardian Farm, I have so many enchanted books of so many types, and JJ was needing, like, Fortune 3, and so I had it, so I just hooked him up. You know, I'm not charging or anything for enchants, because they just pile up, and I just keep enchanting, so I don't waste XP. And, anyways, JJ needed Fortune 3, and then he also needed some coal, so I was just kind of hooking him up, because I had a lot of that stuff, and then he said I could use the sheep farm. So I was like, oh man, that like helps me out so much, because the tavern, because he's got an automatic, him and Wild both, you know, they've got an automatic sheep farm that automatically shears the sheep and all that, and they just go around in minecarts, and it's really, really cool. And if you haven't checked out their channel, I do highly suggest it. They've got some really cool stuff going on, and yeah, so they hooked me up, so we've got plenty of wool for the tavern now. And well, I don't know about plenty of wool. I need so much white wool for this. But yeah, I might just swing by there in a little bit, and then yeah, I'll just let JJ know. But and if he wants anything for it, he can let me know. But There was also a stream, and there's actually going to be a stream here soon, where we built this this fish pond. So, and there's no fish in it because I've got to raise the dirt in here. But just kind of adding some character to this. The fish that I caught kept jumping out and dying, so I'll deal with that. I just got to raise the dirt. Basically, they kept getting in the bubbles and shooting up. Oh, I also added the lights up around this. So, just a small little thing. And, yeah, and then we also finished landscaping out this area. Just planning. This isn't the build. Just for clarification. And then kind of sorted this out because we need this pathway to be kind of smooth for horses. So we've got slabs, and this is kind of for, you know, people to walk up right there. And then we'll be able to park. I'm going to build probably a traveling cart, you know, that's set up here. And we'll do a bit of clutter and work on this bottom part. So, but okay, so the next thing that I want to do for this build is I want to fix this little, well, fix the walls, because they don't really need to be dirt just hanging there. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna start messing with this, and I'm gonna get this fountain fixed up because this will be a fountain where, you know, where the water's coming through that half slab, and it's kind of coming through and going into this little fountain area. That way we kind of have the sounds of flowing water and, you know, a little bit of life up here. So I'm going to work on that, and I will be back in a bit. Okay, I want to pop you guys in because I had the most hectic last couple days, and I just discovered that some of the footage had corrupted, and I can't, you know, I can't really fall back and re-record it. So whenever we finish this bottom section, I know there wasn't a recording from moving from this bottom section to the top section. I apologize. Basically, I had an update, and it was actually an update from back in like May. It was like a big Windows update or whatever, and added a bunch of stuff, and it's been terrible because it corrupted a lot of my footage. It corrupted an edit that I had for Enigmatica, set me back. I had to re-edit everything from the raw footage, and some of that raw footage was corrupted, so I had to cut parts, you know, clip parts off that had gotten corrupted. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So I know this week's been a little bit lighter on videos. I apologize, but we have had a couple streams, so that's cool. And we've actually got a stream coming up here in a little while. But it's been an absolute nightmare. Not to mention I had to update tons of stuff and change, it messed up all kinds of settings on things, and just, you know, I had everything how I liked it, and yeah, and then I changed because my with the new update, for whatever reason, the video editing software that I was using, it's not really working right anymore, so I had to change, which I'm kind of happy that I changed because it was kind of an upgrade, really. It added a lot of features to me and a lot of convenience because I upgraded to that. It's called DaVinci Resolve. It's basically, you know, as good as most of the ones people pay a lot of money for, but it's got a free version, and guess what? It's amazing. The paid version is just, it's like really minor things that you probably never use. Like if you're doing collaboration edits, you can have it all set up so that you know, it's all, I don't know, you can access it from different, I don't really know, but the free version has like everything on it. So anyways, I upgraded to that, and it's been pretty nice, but I've been learning that, so it's been a hectic week. Decorating out this building has taken a lot longer than I had originally planned, but and then I had an internet outage for a while. It's just been a great week. It's just been one of those weeks where you're just like, oh my gosh, so stressful. But anyways, this is what the bottom looks like. So I had added some paintings and, you know, just some flower pots and different things around here. I do apologize. That video is just gone. Like there's no way I can even salvage any of it. So, but yeah, and then we worked on this. You guys kind of knew what it looked like. So, I apologize about that. I apologize. Out here though, we have been working on the fountain area and just kind of decorating out this. I think I might end up adding something. I just haven't decided what I want to do because I don't want to put spruce trapdoors, and everything else feels kind of out of place, like trapdoor wise. And so I haven't really decided what I want to add there. Oh, and I've got a flower pot here. I need to add a flower to this, huh? I'll have to run over and get some. But anyways, I'm going to put a flower there. And I did this little fountain area, little sea lantern. And I kind of put some hedges around it because I think it just kind of looks nice, you know? because just having that grass or even a stone or something like that around there just wouldn't feel right. So I added these hedges, kind of add some greenery up here, and then I added this. I'm still torn if I like it. Oh yeah, you guys haven't seen that. If you didn't catch the stream yesterday, you haven't seen that. Of course, the stream it is being saved as videos, but yeah. Anyways, I did this little section, and we've got some little storage here and a little crafting table, so it just kind of makes it easy. I like having those crafting tables just in convenient places so that no matter what I'm working on, I'm going to have access to it. But anyways, we did get that put on, and then over here, this big wild crazy thing. So I mentioned, I can't remember if I mentioned in the videos, I'd mentioned in some streams in the past, we were going to run some streamers across this. And so that's what we've got going on in terms of streamers. So we've got purple and yellow ran across from the tavern to here. We're actually going to add some more running through. So maybe like between these buildings, and then probably from here over to something. Maybe once we get the bridge built, we'll spruce that up a bit. And I've got these streamers hanging through. They're just wool blocks is all it is with lanterns. And then there is some banners hanging down just to add. I'll probably add some more banners down through here, but just to add a little bit of depth to it, because you know they kind of movement as well, which is kind of nice since they do kind of like blow in the breeze. And I also raised all this dirt, so once I get some more fish in here, they can't jump out. So yay! And yeah, so it actually makes this street feel really, really nice when you're walking down it. I mean, I still have to finish building out the street, and because you know it's a mess, and it's not just going to be path blocks, but that was just kind of to plot out stuff. But yeah, so we kind of got this really lively street, and then we've been working on, and it looks beautiful at night. Hopefully the sun will set here in just a minute. I'm not sure if anybody's going to sleep like pretty quick, but we did work on the tavern a bit, and added, that's white concrete powder right there, and then it's dark oak signs ran across the bottoms just to kind of give it. Of course, we don't have actual wattle and daub without using like a texture pack, but we can do that, and you know it kind of just makes things a little bit more interesting, you know, kind of like I used them over here. But I do quite love the way this building looks. And then we did the little roof overhangs. Now the chimney's not done, and we still have a bit more work. You can see this side out here is kind of shaped out. That side over there is still flat. We've got to do that during the next stream. But you can see I kind of just slowly brought this out. It actually goes up a couple segments before it pushes out, because it doesn't push out quite as far as like this building. You know, this one kind of comes out to a point. This one's a little bit smoother kind of coming out. And up there we have the, I call it a cupola. I think most people call it a cupola, but I call it a cupola just because that's what I grew up calling it. And so it's just what I refer to it as. And then there's fence windows and spruce trap doors as shutters. And the sun is starting to set, so check this out. It's absolutely gorgeous at night, like walking through here, especially once we get everything lit up. But it just kind of feels like you're entering a really lively part of the town. You know, there's a lot going on. I have to check that streamer and see if mobs can spawn them there. If they can, I'm going to have to add a light right there. But I love the way the light looks, especially at night, walking up under this tavern. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And if we go into the tavern, I'll just quickly pop in here and show this to you. Like I said, there'll be another stream later. It'll be later today, a little while later. But we did work on the balconies and stuff. There probably won't be another update for this tavern during this recording, but during the base tour, which will be next episode, there will be some updates. So, and then up there we have, this stuff all has to be kind of cleaned up, you know. But this is just kind of the general shape and everything going on here. And then the chimney kind of runs up between these two. And I don't know if we're going to do a crooked chimney or if we are going to do a straight chimney. I'm not really for sure. And look at this. It's wonderful. This is, if you're wondering, these are iron bars, lanterns. Lanterns being the best thing added to Minecraft since, like, bread. We don't have sliced bread, but we've got bread, so it works. And then if we head up here, just up there, that's what that looks like. So there's like spruce trap doors setting there. And of course, the purpose of these is to let out like foul air and stuff that kind of builds up in really crowded areas and busy areas. That's the purpose of those. So And then you can see it from down here. You can see up inside of it. So you won't be able to get up there and access it and all that because it's just for letting air kind of circulate through this building a little bit. Of course, we do have quite a bit of windows, so it might not be as necessary. But with a roof like that, you know, it's probably, you know, bad air is just going to kind of build up. Of course, this is going to be kind of open, but it just added a lot of character to the top of that building, and yeah. And I don't know. I'm loving the way the tavern's shaping up. I really am. It's a lot of work, but it's getting there. So, and of course that's our stream project. So, but anyways, I'm just going to just kind of finish out just the exterior decoration. There's really not a lot left. Originally, I was thinking about putting shutters here, but I've got these plants, and I think I'd rather keep the plants than have shutters. And let me hop up here. I'm probably just going to add just little bitty minor things like some banners and stuff like that, maybe. But I think for most practical purposes, this building is nearly done. So I'm just going to kind of run around. Of course, normally I would do kind of like a speed build thing for the exterior, but we did that during the last episode. So it's actually, you know, we pretty much did everything that we would normally speed build. So I'm just going to kind of run this. I'll maybe put some little chairs on the deck out there, because it needs those, and then maybe kind of add just a little bit of detail to the back side of the forge here, and just check all the lighting, just kind of just wrapping up. I need to add some lighting out here, and yeah, then I think we'll be just about done with this building. So anyways, I'll be back in just a bit. Oh, and I need to do all of this back wall here because this is this needs a lot of work, and then also this right here, and probably gonna add a plant there and some chairs out here. But anyways, I'll be back once I get that stuff situated. Okay, I think I've got everything situated fairly well. I did add this little bit that kind of crosses over the fountain top, just to, I don't know, make that a little bit more interesting. I might actually do that. Yeah. But anyways, I added, you know, just some banners on the front here, and I don't know, the front's actually fairly the way it was, I guess. If we come up and we go around, here, and I guess I can remove that. We don't need that here anymore. And this side, I haven't necessarily done. You can see that right there, but I've got to do the path, and so that's just going to be kind of whenever, you know, a little bit later. That won't take a second. Just one little section here, but because we got to work back here and all that fun stuff. But anyways, I added some lights here, and then down through here, I added some lighting and some banners and that little post. It kind of comes down, and then back in here, I added just some greenery, just to kind of spice things up. I pushed this door out just so it's a little bit more of like a 3D effect. Added the dark oak signs, and then the little support beam things there. And my terminology is on point. You have no idea. And then out here I added some lights just to make sure that everything was mob proof, and I put some little seats here. They do kind of look into this house, but but that's okay. They're kind of like looking down here. You know, just a place to come sit down from the forge, you know, is basically what that is. And then I added these little planters here, and that little bit there, and yeah, I think these make really good outdoor type planters. And a peony, and then a 2 tall fern right there. And I mean, I think that's the main thing. I mean, there might be some little things I'm like, oh, I should add this here, but I think for the most part, it's fairly good. One thing I might do, actually, I just thought of. See, I'm gonna as I run around in this area, I'm gonna think of things probably, but I might actually run some fence gates across, just because there's so much birch up there, and it's just gonna kind of add that little splash of color that I think this area kind of needs. So let's do that. And then we'll just take this across. Or not really splash of color, but that contrast that it needs, you know. But there we go. So I think that looks a little bit better. And just a little bit more going on in this area. So, and I mean, I think that's the main things. Like I said, I might think of a couple things to add, but we'll see. We shall see. And I'll think about maybe a way to spruce this up. Spruce. Uh, because right now, I don't know, part of me feels like it's a lot of like spruce there, but at the same time, I mean, a little bit of green, and I don't know if we really need to add anything to it. I decided to use spruce here just because, of course, it looks better, and then it kind of matches this under bit here. So many spruce trapdoors for this. I go through so many trapdoors, but yeah, I think that's about got it. Like I said, I might add some little small things, make some small adjustments, as things settle with the build. And I'm like, oh, okay, well maybe I'll add this here or whatnot. But I think that's going to be good. So with that, I think we're going to end out this episode here. Next episode, like I said, will be just a base tour of the base so far, and we'll also discuss a little bit about the next steps in terms of the base. But I think we've got a pretty good start going so far with this little hamlet, and then this little area starting to come together. And actually, let me go dump off a couple things. We have a big momentous thing to do. You'll notice I tend to have storage in the houses that I use while I'm working on projects in that area, and then as the project starts to die down, I take it all back to the main storage area. So, alright, let's head over to the to-do board, which that's actually going to be getting moved before too long. It's not, I don't think it's going to stay there like permanently, because the placement is actually kind of wonky for the bridge. So that's probably going to move over to this area that we've been working on, because it's more of like, not really the town center, but, it's more of like upper city section, because, I don't know, that's actually not so bad, I guess, but I don't know, I might leave it. And maybe eventually it'll be like a notice board or something. Anyways, our to-do board, build the actual forge, can go. And we're actually building the first tavern. So I'm going to leave that blank for now. And we'll put something on that later, but I'm going to leave that blank for the time being. So building the first tavern, of course, is our stream project. And yeah, and we'll talk more about this other stuff here soon. So, anyways, I'm going to end out this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad to have finally gotten this done, because it has taken me way too long to get this done. Normally decorating is like a day. This has taken me a couple days, just because there's been so much stuff going on and going wrong. So it's taken a lot longer than intended. I do apologize that it's taken that long, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated when new videos come out. I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.